All right, so I know we're pressed for time, so we'll just get right to it. What brought you to the Upper Peninsula today?
Well, I try to get around the state, but in particular, I'm up for the Sioux 500 for the race. It's kind of a fun story. During the campaign, when I was running for office, I actually didn't make any commitments for any events except one. And the only event I committed to do, and they were very kind because I was at the races, they said, would you come back and drop the flag on one of the races while you're governor? I said, yeah. I said, I can't guarantee year one because I was just getting started, so I'm here in year two, and I'm excited.
And you'll also be speaking at Bay College later this afternoon, that's my understanding?
Yeah, I'm happy to be in Marquette this morning, and then we're doing a town hall at Bay College around noon time or so, and that'll be a good event. And then I'm looking forward to getting over the Sioux.
And as you know, recently Indiana State Legislature recently passed the right to work legislation. Yeah. Championed by their Governor Mitch Daniels. So is that something that you would be interested in pursuing here in the state of Michigan?
Not in 2012. It's not been on my agenda because it's a very divisive issue. If you look at all the protests, and they're not done in terms of the divisiveness over this issue in Indiana. And so Michigan's got a lot of serious problems. And I'm proud to say last year we were very productive. We got a lot done addressing issues that go back 40, 50 years or longer. And we did that through relentless positive action. No blame, no credit, but finding common ground solutions and moving them forward. If you look at it, it works well. And so I don't want to get into a situation that's totally divisive that would stop many other good things from happening that are actually higher priorities.
And let's talk about that for a little bit. You recently compared yourself to other governors in the upper Midwest that are Republicans as well, and you didn't criticize their approach, but you said that you had a different approach, the relentless positive action, yeah. And you said that it has, quote, brought great results. So what results would you say so far that you can point to that say that this has worked?
Well, one of the first things is a balanced budget. We had to deal with $1.5 billion deficit. We balanced that budget, and again, people did make some sacrifices, and it's about shared sacrifice, but we were also able to pay down some long-term liabilities. If you look at the mess in Washington, and the debt crisis, the budget, all that, we had similar issues, and we addressed them all the fastest in the last 30 years. That was great. So I tell people in Washington, look at what Michigan did. That's a great illustration of relentless positive action. And again, I wouldn't criticize the surrounding governors. Part of the great thing about the states are we're the laboratory of democracy, where different people can work on different approaches. I think our approach works really well. We got a lot done.
As you know very well, mining is huge up here in the UP. It's big to our local economies and everything. But some people say that there's a lot of red tape associated with the mining. How would you address that?
Well, if you looked at it, we put in new regulations before I took office, back a year or two beforehand, that were the toughest regulations in the country. And I don't know if I'd call that red tape. That was being environmentally responsible. The good part is we've got multiple projects that are potentially going forward working within those regulations. And what I would say from the state side is we're working hard to really make sure we're partnering with people interested in those projects to move them ahead as quickly as possible while making sure we're following those regulations. Because it's about partnership and taking both good and long-term care to create jobs and be responsible to our kids.
And then if you could also just explain maybe other ways that you want to boost the economy here in the UP?
Sure. Well, one of the best ones that we got going last year that we're going to continue this year is Pure Michigan. We actually need some more snow up in the UP and other parts of Michigan. But it's great. The tourism industry is big, and it's a great opportunity. Agriculture is going very well. We continue to export more and more out of our state. And then you mentioned mining. I'm very much supporting the growth of mining in Michigan and timber. As the housing industry hopefully recovers, there's good opportunity there, and I think we can do a better job. So both for mining and timber, I've asked people in the state to form task forces to literally say, how can we work better with industry while making sure we're doing good stewardship?
All right, and I have to ask, a lot of our viewers have expressed concern that the Upper Peninsula maybe doesn't see the same attention as the Lower Peninsula. One of our Facebook viewers, Ann Poppy, wrote, how will you work to make the UP more influential in the state legislature?
Well, part of my role and what I work hard on as part of relentless positive action is making us less divisive. I mean, I actually want to see those boundaries sort of dissolve, because it shouldn't be about you're in the UP, you're in the Lower Peninsula, you're in Detroit, you're in outstate Michigan, you're in an urban area or rural area. It's about Michiganders getting together. Our greatest power is when we work together. So allow us to realize that most of the things we're working on, we all benefit from, and keep that attitude going. And that's why I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to coming back again. I think I've been a pretty good visitor to the Upper Peninsula. I really enjoy coming up. Great people. I like to sneak in a good whitefish dinner whenever I can, a meal, and then things like the Sioux 500. And at some point, I'd love to get to one of the dog sled races. I know you have some fun ones going up in this area.
Coming up pretty quick. And you spoke about job creation, but how about those that are returning home from overseas, your Veterans Initiative? What can you say that you're working on there?
Yeah, and we need to do a better job. As I said in the State of the State, we don't do a good job with our veterans. We have about a 30% unemployment rate, which is unacceptable. So what we're trying to do is really work with employers to focus in on hiring vets. The other thing I want to look at is, are there things we can do while they're still serving? To give them opportunities as soon as they get back? Are there things they can do with a resume or applying for jobs? If they need certain skills for an area they're interested in, can we have them all lined up to get in that program as soon as they get back? So we want to be much more proactive by working with both training, educational institutions, and employers to better connect with our veterans.
And getting back to state politics really quickly, the 109th Congressional District has predominantly been Democratic for a while now. And Stephen Lindbergh, the current representative, is term limited, so he won't be running this fall. Some of our viewers want to know, will the state GOP, do you see the state GOP investing money in that race to be competitive, to switch it from Democrat to Republican?
Well, again, you want good democracy going every place. So you want good, healthy races in every district in the state. I mean, that's the way our political system's geared, and it's a great system. The thing I would hope is we all run good, clean races, positive races, and that's the way I've always viewed it. Is I don't like negative advertising. I like to get out and say, hey, here's about reinventing Michigan, here's about more and better jobs and a place for our kids. That was my message, and hopefully people see I'm following through on it. And I encourage all politicians or people running for office, keep that up.
And a few of our Facebook fans also criticized recent budget cuts to public and higher education. How would you address those criticisms?
Yeah, well, again, when you do almost anything, I'll get some degree of criticism. And I didn't like cutting education, but we had a $1.5 billion deficit. So we cut K through 12 much less than we did most other areas of our budget. Actually, we prioritized it that way. And in many respects, we actually said, here are some ideas to make up that cut. So it was much less than most areas. And the thing I'm looking forward to this next year as we get a surplus is hopefully we can start investing back in education. But let's not just talk about spending money. Let's talk about student growth. Because we have great people in the system, but our system is not educating our kids as well as they need to be. And so I want to focus in on student growth and partner with educators on that success.
All right, another big industry, obviously, to Michigan, the biggest perhaps, downstate, is the auto industry. It's showing some signs of life. How pleased are you with the progress?
That's great. I mean, we should all be pleased because we're the auto capital of the world. And we should be proud of that. We shouldn't walk away from that at all, but what we should be doing is adding to it. Adding other industries and having them grow and do well. The one I like to highlight is agriculture. They were our unsung heroes there for a whole decade, that they didn't get enough attention. We're the second most diverse state in the nation. We should be proud of that. And that ties into some of our other things, like, again, timber, the related things to that we should be proud of and promoting.
And I have to ask about presidential politics. The GOP primary has dominated the news cycle for months now, and soon that intense focus will come to Michigan next month for the state's GOP primary, and some people might be looking to you for an endorsement. Have you been thinking about endorsing anyone?
A little bit. I potentially may make an endorsement in the next week or so. And I did that on purpose to say, I said long ago I wouldn't do it except within a 30-day window before, because it is important potentially to speak up on this issue, but I want everyone to know I'm focused on being governor of Michigan and not all the federal issues. The most important thing you can get from me is to say I'm focused on relentless positive action for more and better jobs right here. So I may speak up on this, but it'll be a fairly narrow window, and then as soon as the primary, let's stay focused on our philosophy of showing great results for you, our citizens, our customers.
So what qualities do you look for in a presidential candidate that best reflect your message of relentless positive action?
Well, it is about the attitude of solving problems, not blaming people, not taking credit, but showing results. Politicians talk too much, and we need to get over that, and we need to get to common sense government. about getting rid of waste, about being effective and efficient, and we're doing all those things. And we're doing it in a way where it's not about creating conflict or divisiveness. And so the good part is I think that's an improvement we can show all the rest of the country that Michigan's a role model for a better way to do things.
All right. Well, that's actually all I have. I ripped through that pretty quick. Well, actually, let me just ask you, when do you think you'll come back to the UP?
Well, I hope to get back fairly soon, but again, that's always a question on the schedule. I know I'll be looking for the UP State Fair in August, but hopefully I can get back before that.
You enjoy a pasty or two? Have you had one?
Yeah, I try whenever I can, and I'm looking forward to, the bridge walk again. That was always fun. I got to better my time for Labor Day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much. I know you're pressed for time, so I'll let you,
Thank you
get on going. But it was so nice meeting you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks.
And enjoy the snowmobile. Be safe.
Yeah, thanks.